that's less than perfect.
Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg, Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are so pleased to have in the studio one of our favorite guests from Mama's Kitchen, Eva Matthews, relatively new CEO, maybe not 10 months, of this great group. How you doing, Eva?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Drew.
Oh, you bet. How you enjoying the gig?
Oh, this gig is fantastic. It has kept me on my toes over the past 10 months, and I'm really excited about the future as well.
Yeah, Mama's Kitchen is around for 34 years, and just briefly chat about the mission.
Yeah, so about 34 years ago, at the height of the AIDS epidemic, Mama's Kitchen was founded by a group of concerned community members and volunteers who saw that their neighbors were vulnerable, not just because of illness, but also because of isolation and stigma. And they banded together and they delivered, Mama's Kitchen's first meals to individuals in need. And then since then, the organization has really grown and expanded our mission to serve others with critical illnesses such as cancer, chronic kidney disease, congestive heart failure, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. So we are now, our goal is to improve the health and well-being of individuals and families who are at risk of malnutrition due to critical illness.
Yeah, you folks serve how many folks a week and year?
Well, this year we are on track to serve about 980,000 individual or 980,000 meals. We'll be serving about 3,000 individuals.
Yeah, and and we talk about this all the time on our show, is that certainly it's the individuals that are benefiting, but it's also the individuals' families. The folks that are impacted by this. Brandon, you're going to say something? Brandon,
Yeah.
Joe is also joining us, associate producer of the Spotlight Show, and the CEO. He's a young entrepreneur of Treasure Hacks. Brandon, fire away.
Just curious, because I hear this all the time, that diet is one of the most important things when dealing with a disease, a chronic disease. And just tell me, why is it important that someone make sure that they are well-fed and fed with the right things?
Absolutely. So each of the critical illnesses that we serve have specific dietary needs that are associated with those diagnoses. So what we do at Mama's Kitchen is to create handmade, medically tailored meals, meaning that each of our meals is, each recipe is created in such a way that the nutrition fits the needs of that particular individual. So you might have even someone who has multiple diagnoses, and we're really layering each of those the needs of each diagnosis and creating the meals.
And you do that for 90 or 900,000 meals or 90?
980,000 meals this year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is a monumental task. And I guess, how does that happen in the inside? How do you manage all of these unique meals for each different person?
It's a little bit of magic, a lot of hard work, and a little bit of engineering too. So we have our Chief Food Services Officer and our team of registered dietitians are working hand in hand, really, to look at what the needs are, project, what we're going to need to do for the year, and then they are hard at work crafting those beautiful menus for our clients.
And I encourage you, Brandon, to see this operation. I was on the Susan Komen board for a while, and actually we did one of our board meetings over at Mama's Kitchen, and it is unbelievably impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Our volunteers, I'm sure you saw our volunteers when you visited.
Yes.
We have about 850 volunteers who are also making our operation possible. So this is, a critical aspect of Mama's Kitchen and always something that we really encourage the community to get involved with.
Right. And how do the meals get to the folks?
Well, we have a team of staff drivers,
Okay.
but the vast majority of meals are being delivered by our volunteers. And so whether they're volunteers or staff, these are individuals who are showing up at the door of our clients with care, and they're checking in on them. It's not just
Right.
a meal delivery. It's really a wellness check as well.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before with your predecessor, Alberto Cortez, just a phenomenal person. You mentioned that he's up in
Indeed.
San Francisco now. And, a lot of the folks deal with seniors. There's isolation, as you mentioned before. And in some cases, this might be the only contact they have during that day, correct?
That's right. More than half of our clients
Yeah.
live alone. And so in many cases, and we like to include, little birthday treat
That's
for those who
wonderful.
are having birthdays and that kind of thing. And we often will hear that, without that contact that day, they might not have heard from anyone. So it is really a beautiful touch point.
Yeah, absolutely. Kristen Fogel, my co-host now for over a year, she's the executive director of San Diego Writers Inc., is back in her seat. I know you have a question for Eva.
I do. I was curious about this 20th annual Mama's Pies Thanksgiving Bake Sale.
Yes.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the 20th year of Mama's Kitchen conducting the annual Mama's Pie event. And so we are trying to raise about $145,000. And we have a goal of selling 3,000 pies. We opened our sales on Monday publicly, the 21st, and we've already sold over 800 pies.
Wow.
And we've already sold out of one of our flavors. But
Which one's that? Don't tell me.
that we have a mystery pie this year.
Oh.
That was one of 3 flavors, blueberry, mixed berry, or cherry. And that mystery pie is sold out. But we have our traditional flavors. So pumpkin pie, our traditional apple pie, the Dutch apple, and pecan.
Okay.
Ooh.
And how much do the pies cost?
The pies are $32 a piece.
Okay.
And all of that, every dollar is coming back into our services.
Right.
And if someone doesn't need a pie, we do have another option that they can purchase a holiday feast. And that's really a donation in the same amount.
Nice.
That is supporting the holiday meal that we deliver. And we also this year have a new item that is the 20th anniversary tote. And so if people want to, wear their support for Mama's Kitchen and Mama's Pies with pride, they can get one of those for $20. So it's a real bargain.
Absolutely, Brandon.
Just super quick, Eva.
Yeah.
This is just so funny because I'm hosting an event that is built to help women in business meet leaders and basically in the community to be able to build confidence on like how they can lead and how they can also be amazing business leaders. So on like late November, is that still going to be happening in like late November, like the feast?
So the pie sale will close on the 22nd. And then what happens is we have the pie pickup on the day before Thanksgiving. And we will have pickup sites across San Diego. So that's the timeline.
Gotcha. Because I was just considering all these things. Support an amazing nonprofit and also support women in business and one like yourself at the same time.
What's your
Keep that in
event?
mind. It's a networking event where I'm teaching a bunch of women in business at UCSD, maybe like 30 or 50 of them, how to network. And also the big emphasis is bringing in amazing women in the industry. So people like Delinda Forsyth and her friends and some of the other guests that I've met here and became friends with are all coming in on that day
Fantastic.
to just talk individually one-on-one, because I think that's the most value rather than, look, fancy panel. But it's enough about me.
fantastic.
I'm more curious about you. And how did you get involved with Mama's Kitchen? How did you get in? Because seems relatively new to you, right? Or
Yes, and it's an interesting story, and one that I haven't shared until recently. But last year, my mother was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, and I was in a different position at a local federally qualified health center. I had been there for quite some time and was happy in that role. And I got this news, and my mom was very ill, and I flew back east to care for her. And I found that I could not identify a place like Mama's Kitchen on the East Coast in my mom's town. So I was at a loss, and I was really kind of scared for her. And I came back, and about a week later, I got a call inviting me to interview for this position. And I jumped at the opportunity, and I have obviously never looked back. This has been an amazing journey.
Yeah. Well, listen, it is, and the work that you folks have done for all these years, just absolutely terrific, and we know the impact that you've had is fantastic. We come back from break. We'll talk more about Mama's Pies as well, and then other things that our listeners can do to support your efforts. Obviously, donations are really important, but if you need more volunteers and so forth, you could probably never have enough volunteers
Yes.
in this area. And where do you see Mama's Kitchen going moving forward? As you mentioned, it started off during the AIDS, epidemic, so to speak, and now it's sort of morphed a little bit into some different types of things, still in the health area.
Yeah.
But think about where you might be 5-10 years from now, maybe in the same space or not. When we return with Eva Matthews, she is the CEO of Mama's Kitchen. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 6 decades of doing great things, focusing on food insecurity, literacy, arts, you name it, joined by 2 co-hosts today, Kristen Fogel. Been doing this for a year with me now, and I'm very grateful. She's the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc., and my associate producer, Brandon Joe. He is a junior at UCSD and the CEO and founder of Treasure Hacks. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are back with Eva Matthews. She is the CEO of Mama's Kitchen. Listening to another edition of the Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest running community podcast, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 60 years of doing great things in San Diego County, joined by dual co-hosts, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc., and Associate Producer of the Spotlight Show, Brandon Joe. also the CEO of Treasure Hacks. So, talk to us about what our listeners can do. And obviously donations are important. What you just say, 800 plus volunteers or so?
850, yes,
Okay.
but we always need more volunteers.
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
what are some of the jobs of the volunteers? What do they do?
We have a lot of opportunities for volunteers, and obviously driving is a really critical need all the time because we have now upwards of 70 routes across San Diego that need to be driven twice a week. So that's important. We also have, opportunities in the kitchen. You can be part of the plating process or staging of all of the delivery bags and filling those. We also have administrative opportunities too. So for those who might want the behind the desk kind of experience,
Nice.
we do have some of those as well. So we also appreciate those with skills that they want to share. They might connect with us directly, and then we can plug them in specifically to wherever they'd like.
So how do they get a hold of you?
So anyone with interest in volunteering can go to mamaskitchen.org, and we have all of the information there and the forms that you need to fill out.
So I'm sure you've been there 10 months. And in some ways, I'm sure it sounds like 10 years, in some ways, 10 minutes, right? As you well know in this. Is there any story that just jumps out at you? That, boy, they're all cool. I mean, I never cease to amaze about the volunteers and the people, but is there one that goes, man, this really resonates with me?
There are many lives being changed every day,
Right.
and we are sharing stories amongst our team every day. There is one story that really stays with me, and it's about a couple. There was a woman who shared that her husband was a client of ours, and he had cancer, and she got in touch with us after he passed away, and had said, "Thank you for giving us this last year
Wow.
together without any fighting. We used to fight about food, and I knew that he wouldn't eat what I prepared for him. So because you cooked these meals, he ate them happily, he enjoyed it, and we were able to have this beautiful time together." So that to me is really special. We're providing more than just food. It is peace of mind, dignity, autonomy, and love.
Yeah. Have you had clients that have been with you for the entire time, for 34 years?
We have had, I would say, very few who might have had
The
a very
expanse.
long period of time on service. The average client is on service for about 2.5 to 3 months. But we do have
Interesting.
it's surprising because you would think that
Sure.
it might be longer, but many people make significant
That's
improvements
fantastic.
in their conditions, like type 2 diabetes. You might see a reduction in blood sugar, A1C, pretty rapidly. And then they graduate from service, which is wonderful.
Is there ever a shortage of folks that is there a waiting list, so to speak?
We are very proud to say that we have never had a waiting list. We expand to meet the needs in the community. And that has been, of course, what has encouraged us to, take on new diagnoses, for example, and expand where we need to.
No, I think that's great. Kristen, any question?
Yeah. So, you have been here a relatively short time. What goals do you kind of see going forward? Do you want to expand the word? I won't put any words in I just did put words in your mouth, but what do you see going forward? What would you like to see happen?
Well, I know that the need is greater than what we are currently serving.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a goal to look at how we can better serve the broader community. We have had a shipped meal pilot that we will be wrapping up at the end of this year. So we're looking at different ways that we can also get our meals to clients. So, over the coming years, we'd like to actually think about a larger space, a larger capacity to serve the community.
If you looked at, drones, obviously we know drones are dropping a lot of stuff off to people, health and all that business. Maybe not quite the technology's there for you folks, but who knows, correct?
Who knows? One of the things that I think is really important, no matter what modality we're using to deliver a meal, we need a way to connect with clients.
That's right.
So we are looking at how we can do that. Our registered dietitians are connecting with people, even those who are receiving shipped meals. We're looking at how we can also bring in other community members to be that touch point that we think is so important.
Right. Now, what type of partners do you have in San Diego County? Do you work with other groups at all?
We do. We have over 400 community partners, healthcare partners, so our federally qualified health centers, other clinics, hospitals, social service organizations. We have research partnerships with area universities. So we're really networking as much as possible to make sure that we are able to meet the need of the community, but also be innovative and really think about where this kind of service should be, as you say, 10 years from now.
Yeah. Do you work with the universities at all? Do you get some of the college students involved?
We do, actually. I'm very interested in working with the universities with interns, because I do think we have some really interesting opportunities for interns, public health, and other interns to work with us and have some really enriching experiences.
No, I think that's great. So we had talked a little bit earlier before the break about you started off focusing on certainly what was going on during the AIDS, epidemic, and morphed a little bit still in the health space, but looking at things a little differently. Where do you see in 5-10 years? Continuing obviously in the health space, but maybe other areas?
I think the mission of the organization really is about health and wellness, so improving the health and wellness of those with critical illness. And what we have done over the years is to respond to what we see is the most urgent need. So moving from HIV to cancer and congestive heart failure, chronic kidney disease, type 2 diabetes, we know that there are other conditions that would benefit from medically tailored meals. And so as we work with others and, look at the science, we're really trying to determine what those next conditions might be.
Yeah, as Kristen knows, and Brandon too, we chat about mental health almost incessantly on our show. How could you not? We're at a crisis we've never seen in this world, for that matter, probably solar system while we're at it. Do you ever see getting into that aspect of it as well? Now, we know folks who have some of these issues certainly have some mental health challenges as well. Talk about that.
Yeah, mental health is part of the whole landscape of what we're doing.
Right.
So part of the reason that we have home delivered medically tailored meals is that, for either physical or mental health reasons, people may not be able to shop or cook for themselves.
Right.
And if they're facing these critical illnesses and have, whether they're mental health challenges that were underlying, or the stress or depression that comes with the critical illness, the services do help to alleviate those things. And that is how we are currently working with mental health.
That's good. Brandon, any final comments?
I mean, I just love the work that you do. I think the name itself is just telling of what it is. It's Mama's Kitchen, something of warmth, something that you can't get from anywhere else, something that is so beautifully made that all the memories that you'll have from something like this is something that I'm sure that every person that's gone through the program has changed their life. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I have to agree. It feels that way to our team. We're bringing in over nearly 3,000 pounds of fresh produce every week. We're buying locally produced foods, and we're hand making these meals for our clients because we care about them. So
no, that's a mama's meal. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Kristen, any final comments?
I don't. I think Brandon really said it very nicely. So he's the wordsmith right now and not myself. So
Yeah. So Eva, we always make this, opportunity. We're not trying to break any HIPAA laws and all that business. However, if there is somebody that has benefited from Mama's Kitchen that wants to come in and join you or someone else, and talk about what it means. We know a lot of them are certainly housebound and can't make it in, but there's some family members that could come in and say, this is what it's done. The example you gave with that couple is great. Think about that and have them come into the studio.
Certainly. I will do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Eva Matthews, so nice meeting you. This will not be the last time you'll be on the Spotlight Show.
Thank you.
Would love to, have you chat. I want to give a big shout out to Connor Christensen and Skatina Daniels. And those folks, we've been friends with them for a long time, and they bring some great clients in. So thank you, Connor, for listening in on the interview. And hi to our good friends at Skatina Daniels, Erica and Denise. And Eva, we'll look forward to having you back on. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We've been doing this now for 18 years, longest running community podcast in the nation, brought to you by the very cool folks at Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of just raising the bar for us folk living in San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.